Shopify should have the advantage in the group stage, but that doesn't stop either of these two teams making it on through. But the big problem for FaZe right now is V1 in their way. Craftman, it is going to be FaZe in the orange, V1 in the blue, and already V1, nice little bit of early pressure, not pushing too much, but just looking to hound this in their opponent's half, just play that boost game straight off the bat. Beautiful stuff, ain't it?
Yeah, I'm interested to see how V1 are going to take on this FaZe team, because we know FaZe for being this high-flying team, and I mean, taking down NRG in round number 1 in the way that they did, that's going to give them a lot of confidence coming into this game. A game that I think a lot of people, when you look at the teams, you think, oh, FaZe versus V1. V1 haven't been the most consistent team throughout, not just the spring split, but RLCSX as a whole. You think FaZe are just going to walk away with this one, but you look a little bit more into the stats, Bacon. There's a reason these teams are 8th and 9th in the standings respectively, and the stats tell the story. This one is going to be a lot closer than a lot of people seem to think.
Yeah, and definitely V1, it's got to be said, on a little bit more of a comeback. Since losing Squishy on over towards NRG, V1, previously Cloud9, just haven't looked the same entirely. Con finally getting his foot in over on FaZe though. Since getting picked up by Peeps, that sort of like pressure to look for an AUG to actually its signs seem to drop away a little bit. But again, this could be the end of that period. And finally they will pop off, already popping off today against NRG. AJ up in the ceiling, looking to get the grab pitch, but no, not able to get that one on target.
I mean, AJ, he's been the breakout star, at least in the last couple of months for FaZe, and obviously the peak before. He's been the top man in the team, one of the top players in NA, starting to become one of the most feared players in North America as well. He's starting to become the high-flying shooter, the one that you don't want if you're the opponent of AJ, you don't want him to have the ball in his hands. And right now he's keeps the ball close to his chest down that right-hand side and let Gyro come in, but giving up in the middle, and Torment will take it back upfield. You feel FaZe too much emphasis on funneling their offense through AJ? Do you think Gyro and Illusion need to step up a little bit more?
Yes and no. So by funneling through AJ, they become quite predictable. And actually, this game right now for both sides is very predictable. You take that last setup coming in from Gimmick, and right there, again, AJ with the shot, always looking. The pass was always going to AJ, and that's the issue. Gimmick up in the air has got potential here, up and over one, but AJ getting there in the back lines is a little bit off target. Quite easy, but Torment has just snuffed that. Threading the needle here.
Just out of nowhere, Calm wins that clean off of AJ, and FaZe caught on the back foot, no idea where this is coming from, and Torment just picks his spot, 1-0.
So the issue there is Gyro stopped on that backboard to then jump on off. He needed to continue that momentum, but clearly he didn't think the ball was going to be so high. So that's just a reading of the situation, and Gyro's going to be kicking himself for that, but that's where the team game of Rocket League really comes on in. Everyone's going to be, look, just go, it's one goal, let's get back into this, lads.
Yeah, you just need to settle the nerves. I mean, the comeback against NRG was something to see. I mean, you see they're starting to get their eye on our FaZe and settling in against this very defensive team of V1 ever since they swapped out AXB after the fall split and brought in Com. Their saves percentage and their saves per game has gone up, just like that one from Torment. They went up from about 4.45 saves per game to 5.46. But Gimmick, he doesn't care about saves, he cares about goals. It's 2-0.
That's it. It's all well and good up in your saves, but at the end of the day, the team with the most goals win. And that's an interesting stat to actually pull on out there, Crafters, because generally in Rocket League, anyway, we see the teams that get the most saves are the weaker sides because they're pushed against their own half more. They're getting shot on more, and at the end of the day, eventually you're going to be able to break down the walls. So for you here, just can you like glean anything from V1 there and how they've been able to up their defense and work maybe off those counters?
It becomes more of a question of can you defend, get those save stats up, and then push it down the field, as you say, get those counter attacks. And I mean, in the fall split, of course, this goes all the way back to the fall split when you had AXB. maybe a lot of teams thought, all right, we're just going to push them. They're not getting a lot of saves. And then all of a sudden, the save rates go up. They get big counterattacks. And these teams just aren't ready for it. And oh, big counterattack there between Gimmick and Com. Lovely link-up play. And it's 3-0 to V1.
Notice how each and every time Gimmick is just looking for this, not only with those attacks, but then also the playmaking scenarios like that. Just the midfield control from FaZe is too loose. They're too confident in themselves. They think they're pressuring, but notice V1 are always looking for those paths to work on around, and it's actually some really beautiful Rocket League.
Certainly is. Like you said, I fully agree. FaZe maybe just getting a little bit too overconfident, obviously riding the wave of adrenaline coming off the NRG series, taking off the second best team. No, they're number 1 in the region right now, behind ahead of Envy. I keep forgetting who's in front right now. Is it Envy or is it NRG? Yeah. But I'll tell you who's in front right now in this particular series. It is V1 coming out of the gates with a vengeance, and they take the first game, 3-0.
Yeah, forgive us Europeans when it comes to top of the rankings. We're just used to one team storming ahead, and then the competition after that. You know, here you got NRG only, and it's crazy to say it, 29 points ahead of Envy there, Craftman. That's ridiculously close to the top. So, again, both those teams are fighting in this major for that number 1 seed because it's more preferable. They've also got to be a little bit worried because Space Station, if things go terrible for them anyway, for, say, Envy or NRG, could usurp that spot a little bit up there. They're only 400 odd points behind. So, you know, if you drop out, you don't make it to the playoffs, then and say Space Station go on through and win it in the finals, then that could be usurped, right? And Rogue, of course, only a little bit behind. So Rogue probably looking to upset, get that chance of stealing away Space Station's spot, but it's realistically 400 at that point. Like, most of those top 4 teams are cemented. It just comes down to NRG and Envy trying to steal away from each other. But after that, like we said already, that's the next game up in the air. So it's a very interesting predicament a lot of these teams find themselves in. And my problem when it comes to NA is those 4 teams at the top are safe. And that's where I think a lot of the weakness for NRG in this group stage anyway came out of. They've already got the spot, so they tend to relax a bit. They'll come back in the championships and be absolutely nuts. But that's where, you know, there always needs to be pressure for NA teams. I always feel like, you know, seeing in as a European. But coming into this game too, this is where, up against NRG, FaZe stepped on up. They take that first game and sort of like throw everything at their opponents, but look very uncoordinated. Here in game 2, I expect them to really turn that scrappiness up to 11 and find a lot of powerful goals just through their speed.
And I think FaZe as well, we're not expecting V1 to be really on this kind of form. And we were obviously the game that V1 played against Space Station, it was off stream, but we're hearing updates from throughout that game when we were sitting in the green room. And it sounded like V1 were in a fair bit of control, and I think it was like a 5 and a minute, nearly 6 minute overtime in game number. I would always said game number 7, game number 5 as Gyro just misses out on the opening goal here in game number 2. V1, they are certainly a team to. Obviously, they're not playing for much other than money and pride at this point, but they could be in this tournament this weekend, Bacon, to play spoiler to teams such as FaZe and such as G2 as well.
Is there $100,000 on the line? More than that, actually, here in the majors. I'm being a dummy. So, a lot of money right there. And like I said, like you said, sorry, pride is a massive thing. Be the best. Go into that off-season. Just absolutely barnstorm, because that right there. Finally, FaZe finds one through, but they've not actually changed anything up. They've just got cleaner in their attack.
Yeah, and that's super clean pass between AJ and Illusion. I think it was Torment flying up for that one, and just a little bit too late. AJ knows he has the space to find Illusion down right in front of the goal, and right off a kickoff as well. AJ's got to get it from Gyro. 2-0 FaZe just like that.
Okay, now V1 are in a bit of a dangerous position again. Whilst taking the lead quite comfortably in game 1 is off the back of defense. Now that FaZe are going to have confidence in themselves. Now that they've found a bit of flow, admittedly over the 1 goal, a kickoff goal just sort of adds a lot of morale to you. Doesn't really adjust much in the game, but you can definitely see that morale coming on through because that is BEA beautiful crafters.
Lovely stuff from FaZe, and you said it in the NRG game. This is where FaZe started to level themselves up, and they are certainly stepping up to a level above version 1 right now. We said maybe FaZe got caught out in game number 1. It's V1 in that position right now, getting caught out themselves 2 minutes in, and it's a 3-0 lead for FaZe. This is the FaZe we know they can be. And if it weren't for the sort of slight inconsistencies throughout the spring split for FaZe, they might even have been confirmed already for the championships, but they have to play this weekend, as we've been saying, get a better ranking than at least Shopify Rebellion. And confirm themselves into that championship for a crack at $400,000, share of $400,000, I should say. And they're certainly playing like a championship level team right now. How do you rate them halfway through game number 2?
So far, FaZe, as long as they can keep in line with one another, you notice every now and then they get a little bit loose. The comms just drop on off ever so slightly. It's almost like they don't know what their teammates are doing, and that's when they fall, because they play such an aggressive style. Look at these demos coming on out. Look at the number of interceptions, the number of 50-50s they want to go in for. FaZe have to be in touch with one another at all times, because if you're not, that's when you sort of step over, you rotate into each other, and those are the issues. You want that constant pressure. Lucian chasing up afterwards, just to put it at the backboard, allows his 2 teammates to rush back, get boosts, and then continue that pressure going. FaZe right now are playing well, but the problem is V1 are going to be able to adjust this. They've now seen FaZe finally turn on up. They had that game 1 already in the bag, so game 2, notice how this constant pressure is starting to look at not as dangerous, and that's because V1 are making those adjustments. They're playing with more space to try and force FaZe to shoot from a little bit further on out, thus giving V1 more time to respond.
Thing is, though, version 1 haven't really responded. No shots on the board at all for them. 3 saves, though, 2 from Torment, 1 from Gimmick. Just FaZe giving absolutely no quarter in their own half, and Gimmick's a little bit too far up. He's going to let AJ come in for this now. Illusion off of the wall. Well played by Gimmick, well recovered. Then that ball back into the FaZe half, but really, in reality, this game 2 is over with just under a minute to go, and a 3-0 lead for FaZe. It's a very comfortable one, and you think that's the game plan going forward for FaZe. Just get these 2-3 goals quick off the bat in the first half of the game, and then just sit back and play defense, or expect, now, version 1 are not going to be pushing you all that much.
Version 1 like to control their half of the pitch. They don't want you in there. Their pressure when they put up isn't so incredible, but when you look at FaZe on the opposite end, they want to keep on pushing. They want to keep on pressuring. So this is actually a really nice game because both teams flow into each other quite nicely. The big takeaway now is whilst FaZe showed up in the first half massively, the second half, FaZe had just not worked. And again, that's all down to V1 making those adjustments. Gimmick here just allowing it to roll on, playing those mind games. Game 3 is going to be the one where we see whoever wins there is going to win the series. I'm calling it now, Crafters, purely because that's going to, you're going to see both teams at their fullest right there. They're coming into today looking warm. They're pretty hot and in form, which is great to see, especially, because it's the majors. But this is going to be absolutely a nuts one because they've just got such a good play style to play into each other, because whilst they're not playing the same game, not looking for the same sort of plays, one team's happy to allow that pressure to come on in. They're going to try and draw FaZe in. So you're going to be able to see FaZe go for some nutty plays. But then also, version 1 have some incredibly crazy counterattacks. So this is Rocket League sort of at its peak as a viewing experience.
It's been great to watch so far. Just fast-flowing Rocket League here in this FaZe versus version 1 game. Easy for me to say. But I can agree with you on this one, Bacon. I think this game number 3 is going to be the pivotal one, because if V1 get down 2-1 here, FaZe are just going to be tearing them apart and rolling on. I mean, they've won the 2 out of the last 3 matchups between them. And I think even when they were the Peeps, they went on like was that 5 or 6 game winning streak against Version1 throughout the course of RLCS. 7 game winning streak even.
Then
so
V1 1-1 and Peeps won the most recent.
Oh, there you go. Well, FaZe won the most recent.
Well, FaZe won the most recent, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, Peeps, FaZe, whatever you want to call them. Never sleep on them though. That's the main thing. That's what. If you ever meet Gyro, he'll tell you never to do that. Never sleep on them. But right out of the gate here, Bacon, in game number 3, Version1 do seem like a rejuvenated team. They seem more willing to go downfield and more willing to go on the attack. No shots as of yet, but Gimmick looking to pile the pressure on, but Gyro deals with it so well. Up to AJ, around the corner, and now Com, who's been the defender really on Version1 throughout the entirety of the spring split and the entirety of the winter split as well, you feel. Like I said, after bringing in Com after the AXB,
Gimmick gets this.
They have been. Whoa, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it, Bacon.
It was the setup. It was always going to be a setup towards Torment. You saw Torment coming on through, and they responded so well. V1 right now are in the driver's seat. Whilst they are playing quite a nice defensive game, I'm saying defensive because they only ever have 1 player on the ball. Their passing plays are always going to come off the backboard here unless they are able to find a player to cheat up super deep. But they're trying to just limit the amount of boost FaZe have. FaZe, with Gyro up in the air, is so clever there to just try and stall this ball in the blue half, trying to allow time for FaZe to take control of those midfield pads. This is not the game I was expecting. That all comes off the back to V1 just looking to play a somewhat controlling pressure play and force it into opponent's half and wait for the moment. Such great patience coming out from this blue side.
Certainly so, and I think you need to be patient at this stage of the game, where FaZe are just going to be shoving this ball right down your throat and expecting you to respond to it in that way. And what I was going to say as well, Bacon, was you said Gimmick was going to get that ball. He didn't. You've lost your predicting privileges, but Com gets that instead. Halfway through this game number 3, and it's V1 ahead.
Beautiful. Once again, V1 doing what they do best. Quick counter plays. The fact that that ball travels from one end of the pitch to the other in 3 seconds is nuts. What's even more nuts is how coordinated that is, because it requires not only the clearance / pass on out to the second man, but then the redirect on target. V1 have been absolutely drilling those out.
So I think there's a similar goal. I think it was Com that scored it as well in game number 1 for Version1. It's that pass from the backboard down to Com, bang upfield and right into the heart of the net. Now FaZe, we've not really seen their defense tested all that much, but now Com has a goal, 1-on-1 with Gyro, wins out the challenge, but can't sneak it under the crossbar. FaZe will have possession now. AJ and Torment playing the FaZe game, cutting that out in the midfield, and Gimmick so quick to this ball. Former Cloud9 world champions, Gimmick and Torment, they know each other so well. They've been an outstanding duo throughout the course of this RLCSX season, where they have been winning or losing, but a minute and a half to go now. All the pressure on FaZe. Gyro tries to find AJ and cut out by Com.
Oh, Gimmick there, stepping away, taking the boost, calling Torment on in. And Torment's just throwing that at net to be a threat, just to make sure that a defender's going to have to go for it, because it allows time for them to now try and hold on to the midfield line. But the demo really helped on out. Going to be interesting to see how FaZe responds to this. Only 1 minute left in it. And again, they're just sticking to a lot of pressure, trying to jump across net, get a bump, get a demo. They're just not able to find anything right now. V1 have got everything locked on out.
Oh!
Wow!
Oh! Those 2 shots came thick and fast there, Bacon, and a blink and you would have missed them. Blink and V1 wouldn't have saved them either. 45 seconds to go, and V1 proving what their defense is worth here. Gyro 1-on-1, 2-on-1 with Torment and Gimmick, and will deny them both as well. Round the corner now, FaZe upfield. Gyro, empty net, Torment to deal with. He cuts it out immediately. And now FaZe, the quickness starting to come into effect. They're pushing this ball right into the Version1 half, but Version1 say no thank you sir. Boom that back upfield, and with 20 seconds left, this is all they have got.
Yeah, it's all hands battle stations right now for FaZe. DEFCON 1 try and turn this into a goal. That's a good block up in the air. Illusion wanting to just punch that towards net. In the end, runs it into Com, who's slowing things on down, allows Gimmick to just step this away. Gimmick will find the floor. V1 take a game 3, go 2-1 up in the series. And well, Crafters, V1 looking on fire. I'm now just scared and so curious to see how SSG were playing, because V1's defense is like top class right now.
Certainly so. I mean, you look at that, 4 saves from Calm, 1 from Torment, 2 from Gimmick. I just want to see this field domination stat that we have here in the Rocket RB. I always like to look at that because it shows how often the ball was in a certain half of the field. 58% of the time, the ball was in the version 1 half of the field. That's what the stat you saw on the bottom of the screen there. So FaZe had the possession, had the field possession as well, but they just couldn't get these shots. Well, they got the shots off plenty, but the version 1 defense was just there every single time to get it. This defense, I mean, I sung the praises before the match even started. Their defense is starting to come to fruition yet again here, Bacon.
Yeah, they're playing some really like efficient Rocket League right now, and it almost feels closer towards. I like efficient. Yeah, it's getting closer towards like football or soccer, sorry for the American guys at home, where it only counts for that 1 goal, maybe 2. If you get 3, you're having an absolute class game. That's because you only need those opportunities. You're trying to just stall out your opponents, but you can see Gimmick and Torment still linking up. You've got Com quite far back. He's now going to be looking to come into this, as natural rotations do, but they're still being a threat when they need to. Just trying to really move FaZe on around and make them uncomfortable in these early halves, which is a great opener, just because they're going to play first to try and take control of the boost, try and take control of the pitch. They lose that a little bit so they can go to plan B. It means they've got versatility in their game, and that is spectacular.
And getting FaZe rocked a little bit. Not something we see too often, but what's something else that might be rocking FaZe a little bit now as well. We mentioned the battle between them, G2 and Shopify Rebellion is another couple of saves from version 1. Keep that at bay. FaZe will not like to see that, and they also won't like to see that G2 have just swept Space Station Gaming. 3-0 dominant win there for G2. And obviously G2 play FaZe next, and that's going to be over on the main twitch.tv/Rocket League stream once this one is done and dusted. I think Shopify Rebellion as well, they're 1-0 up on Envy over on that main stream, although Envy is 3-0 up in game number 2, so we'll keep an eye on those for you and keep track of who is going to be where, because we're going to be talking about this FaZe, G2 and Rebellion rivalry, you would say, throughout the course of today. It's going to be interesting because those 3 teams could end up in a position, or at least G2 and FaZe could end up in a position.
Shopify Rebellion is a tomorrow discussion. Because what
I was going to say is they could end up playing Shopify Rebellion first thing tomorrow. That'd be huge.
Would be indeed. Today is shaping up very nicely, like you said. We've got everything in the oven. We're starting to see the day rise. I'm licking our lips. Can smell it already, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Torment, good 50-50 as Gimmick's going to get high on this one. Wants to get the second touch. Does get blocked. Com's coming on in, but backs out of it. Very wise.
Good
Saw
pass.
AJ on that and knows he's got to be in net for the shot. The bump coming up. Oh, that's a goal by Gimmick!
Oh, feels bad, man, Gimmick. Oh, it was set up perfectly for Illusion just to send this in the heart of the net. I thought it was going wide. I think Gimmick thought that too. He was going for the hit into the corner, and it just rebounds in the worst possible way. What a way to concede the first goal. Exactly 2.5 minutes gone, 2.5 to go here in game number 4. And I think your prediction as well, Bacon, about whoever wins game 3 is going to win the series. It's looking a little bit edgy. We could be heading to a decider.
Hey. Trust me? Trust me. Okay.
Okay. I'll trust you. I'll trust you when it happens, but look at this. Oh, is this going on? Oh, Gimmick.
It's fine. I'm not in pain right now. Com's not in pain. What a block that was on out to get the clearance. Get so much space. Torment taken past by AJ, who's on an absolute tear.
Oh, AJ,
Gimmick going to be able to pick it up. Lucian just a little bit too loose once again in the corner with Com this time. Past 1, not going to be able to get past 2, but he was looking for the block. And this playstyle, V1 just looking to read their opponents is such a risky game, but when it works, oh baby, does it work.
Oh, it has been working to a T. And keeping AJ at bay, who's been one of the best players, according to Octane GG in their rating system, 3rd best in North America throughout the spring split. He's been one heck of a player. Can he make one heck of a play here? Gyro trying to clear the tracks for the AJ train to come on through, but Torment slams the brakes onto that. 1-0 still in FaZe's favor, but no goal scored by FaZe, you could argue, as Gimmick put it in his own net. But a minute left, Version1 need to get a move on and start moving this ball upfield because they've only had 4 opportunities. None of them have been converted.
Oh, calm there. Good plays by Gyro, who has just been the foundations to FaZe right now. A true cornerstone of this squad. Without him, oh, the goals will be coming thick and fast from V1. He has just been an absolute rock. But the problem is right now, it's V1 who've got to get rocking and rolling here, Crafters. They're throwing the ball towards net. Gimmick, another attempt, but that's met easily by Gyro. There's so much space on the clearance. Gimmick with a back pass on over the Torment, throwing it back into the mixer. But no cement made. Com has to dart back, and Torment's in a very dodgy 1v1. Good follow-up by Gyro. He's going for a second touch. Maybe
no way!
A third.
Oh,
no, the
Gyro.
fake. And AJ's on it, but he's put it too high.
I don't think it's going to matter though, Bacon. It's down in the corner here with 0 seconds left. V1 need to keep this one alive, and they will not. 1-0, the last score in this game and in game number 3. We've had 3-0 V1, 3-0 FaZe, 1-0 V1, 1-0 FaZe. What's going to happen in the decider? It's game 5 upcoming.
Yeah, it's a good game of tug of war here, back and forth to me to you, Rafters, and I've got to say, I mean, the prediction for V1 to win is still on. I'm just saying that. But
all right, okay.
I love this. This is Rocket League at its best. You don't need tons of goals. Don't get me wrong. I'm a simple man. Like, I see a goal explosion, I get excited because you know, it looks cool.
That's why you're sitting here. That's why you're sitting here alongside me.
That's the only reason I came commentator. I was like, I just want to see goals. But at the end of the day, there is such an interesting mental game going on right now because not only is there so much strategy here, but there's counter strategy because these players know each other inside and out. Like we said, a thorough 9 series played so far in RLCS X, and that's just RLCS X. The game plan for FaZe, once again with this early opener, but look at AJ coming off the ceiling, but the fake is dirty.
I think everyone on the field and everyone watching was thinking AJ was going to get that double touch because he always gets the double touch on those kind of plays.
He's going to go for it. He's going to
exactly. Get it. Absolutely. And no one expects him just to... I don't know if he missed it deliberately. We'll say he did, and then Illusion just puts it right in the back of the net. Lovely stuff from FaZe, but Gimmick looking to respond, looking for a double touch of his own, but Torment follows it up. 25 seconds in, and it's already one apiece.
Oh, baby, we've got ourselves a game 5.5. Gimmick there, throwing it close into the wall, but because he chases on up, Gyro's got to go for that close post. Gimmick's not going to be able to shoot there, but Gyro doesn't know that. When you're pre-jumping, when you're predicting everything, you don't have information. All you've got is emotion, and you've got to throw the hecking car at the wall. Not going to come off, and that's why Torment comes in with the mop and bucket to clean it up. AJ not able to convert that.
Illusion.
But
Illusion
it's denied by Torment in the net.
Oh, absolutely brilliant from Version1. It's not out of the woods yet. Illusion slowing things down. Com back to the corner. And now Gyro following this one up, making sure Com can't get out of his corner, but he's found Torment on that right-hand side. Backboard pass, and Gyro clears it away. But now Version1 have a little bit of a rally going now. AJ gets a pass from the right-hand side or from the left to the right, excuse me. Oh, it's passes on passes on passes here, Bacon. And it's all well defended and being contested right in the trenches, right in the middle of the field. That is where this series and this game is going to be won, Bacon. FaZe have really been showing to me throughout the course of this series that they have been the better midfield team, but Version1 are now starting to catch on to their game.
We
Illusion!
always knew Damn, that's incredible. We always knew this was going to be a war for those final two spots, sorry. And World Champions Field is turning into a battlefield like no one's ever seen before. Howitzers flowing in left, right, and center, close shots, but nothing going to be able to touch the back of the net. Good connection coming on through from Illusion just to intercept it, throw off to the side. Really gets his teammates out of trouble there.
Oh, take a breath, everybody. Coming up for halfway through this game, and Com, oh, he doesn't want to stop and smell the roses here on Champions Field. He just wants to slap it into the net. But I think now we've just got a moment of calm here, Bacon. Everyone can just calm themselves, getting ready for the final 2.5 minutes of this game number 5. Now Com looking to bump AJ out of the way potentially, but doesn't make contact with the ball or AJ himself. Version 1 have a good chance here. AJ misses. Let's Com come in for this one. But Illusion is there to back him up. No boost left in the tank for him. Will allow Torment to come in. Now Com, zero angle from the backboard. He stays down for Torment. And 2 saves in a row for FaZe. Looks like the roles have been reversed. We've seen this on the Version 1 side, Bacon.
That we do. Com reading for the waterfall, but Illusion up high, got there first.
Oh, Gimmick!
Good read. I remember back in the day when waterfalls were brand new, no one could read them. Now, well, it's just another easy day at the office, isn't it?
Oh, it's been great to see the evolution of Rocket League throughout the course of RLCS and throughout the course of this series as well. Now FaZe starting to go into their offensive phase. Now Gyro, half tank a boost, one man to beat, Gimmick's there, blocked by Illusion, and in it goes! FaZe ahead with a minute and a half to go.
Yeah, beautiful control here by Gyro. Always going for the top of the bin, and Gimmick, because he's coming in flush with it, just cannot get any power behind it. So, brilliant follow on up, and Illusion, I don't want to call it just yet, but that's got the feeling of a game-winning goal as long as FaZe keep pressure high.
The way that's been going for the last minute or so, Bacon, you feel FaZe have got it in the bag. Anything can happen in the next 70 seconds or so. Will Version 1 be able to break out of their half, or will FaZe just put the nail in the coffin right here and go up by 2? Looks like that's the way they want it. The way it might end up happening, but Com and the rest of Version 1 might have something to say about it. Back into the FaZe half of the field. Now Com beats out Gyro. Now over to Gimmick. Where's Torment? Oh, Gimmick can put it in himself. Maybe he had another flip left. I think he needed a flip reset off the backboard there. I don't think he got it, or at least used it. And now Gimmick, no boost in the tank. Got to be pushing now for Version 1.
On with a big cheat up there for any easy clearance to come on through from Gyro. And where V1 had sent 2 players into that orange half, there's no one really back to just be able to block it at that 25% line.
Oh.
V1 have one more play left in this, and where they're going pretty predictable. They're going slow, they're going high in the air. You can send players out to meet with it. Gimmick,
Gimmick! Torment! Where's Com? Oh, he's
not going to be able to connect. Com can keep this up in the air. He's got tons of boost still left in the tank. Looking to set that up for Gimmick, but AJ,
that's it.
What a save. And that has confirmed the game for FaZe.
Oh, what a series of play right at the end there. That really could have gone either way. If Gimmick could have just slid into that ball, it would have been a back of the net. We might be still sitting here in overtime, but no. FaZe close it out with a flurry of saves, and they beat Version 1 at their own game, and that has been defense, defense, defense for FaZe. 8, 9, 10 saves for FaZe at the end of that one. I think that's the most saves, or the one time that they won out the save battle in the course of this series. And what a series it has been. Version 1, you feel that any other day, any other time, they could have snuck the win there in game number 5, but not to be. They go 0-2 in the group so far.